It's always been important for me to put a version of myself into an online space. When I was a kid, I was obsessed with avatar-based games. The thing with these sorts of applications, there's hardly any options for people of colour to represent themselves accurately. I see my art as a way to extend those experiences I was trying to have as a child. I can go crazy with it. I can create myself however I want. My name is Serwah Attafuah. I'm an artist, previously a musician. I would say my art is a mixture of Rococo and Renaissance aspects mixed with futuristic aesthetics. A large overlay of afro-futurism. The way I would explain afro-futurism is retaining Black and Afro cultures from the past and present and giving it a positive lens for the future. Growing up in the early 2000s, there was a heavy focus on digital and cyber this and the internet. Stuff like The Matrix, reading a lot of William Gibson really influenced me in what I do now. Both my parents are artists. My dad's a sculptor. My mum did more like graphic design. Growing up, we were always sculpting something or painting something. It's always been part of my life. I started learning 3D when I lost my painting space. I just downloaded a program that was free and I was like, all right, I'm just gonna press all the buttons until I figure out what's going on here. I just thought it would be more fun to just experiment and come up with my own solutions. There's definitely a lot of different elements of my heritage that are involved in my art. My dad's Ghanaian. Scarification, I've morphed into a more cyberpunk scarification with the lines and more android elements. And then my mum's Italian and Dutch, so that comes to play with the Renaissance and the more golden age of painting elements you see in some of my work. So I just try to merge all three cultures into one big art soup, art salad. Growing up in Western Sydney has been good for me as an artist. Maybe it's a lot quieter out here and you sort of have more space to think and grow into your own person. People are just starting to pay attention to the fact that there's always been cool stuff happening out here, which is good, but yeah, it's sort of always been out here, I can definitely say. Just the visual aesthetic of Western Sydney is very interesting and different spurts of cities that are just emerging and barren landscapes and then suburbia. Everything's sort of heightened out here and I like it. Apotheosis was a live motion capture experience at the Opera House. I creative directed it, Soft Centre produced it. It was scored by P. Twigs and the motion artist was Lydia Cavella. Lydia's live dance was fed through a motion capture suit into a program called Unreal Engine, which is used to create the worlds and the environment. And we fly through this world and take her on an inner journey told with the motion and the music and the environment around us. I wanted the audience to really see themselves in Lydia. Maybe when they were a teenager, young adult, and where you've been on this journey that seems familiar, but you have this inner demon following you and get lost in the process. The demon is a reflection of an internal struggle. I don't think that the journey should be positive or negative. Your inner demons or fantasy demons can still be beautiful and you can still coexist with them. When we started the project, I don't think I really comprehended the scale of it. I felt proud of myself and I felt proud of the team. This was the first time for all of us. We really did not have any idea if it was going to work. I don't want this to be the last version of this story. I think we can take it further. The whole experience of Apotheosis, the possibilities that we have in terms of our bodies and transferring that into a digital space even further has really opened my mind. My first involvement with NFTs was actually this time last year. I guess I would say an NFT is a token that's minted inside my artwork that represents that it's authentically mine. The way you would sign a print or you would sign a painting. The first time I put something up, I was just so mind blown. Before that, I'd only ever sold like prints for under $100. It's quite hard as a digital artist to convince somebody that I can sell you this and you're going to be the only one that has this. We didn't have the technology to do that before now. So I'm working on a generative NFT project. I basically have to use artificial intelligence and feed it a whole bunch of my artwork. And then it'll learn from my artwork and spit out what it thinks my artwork should look like, or new versions of my artwork, which I'm really keen to see. I'm not even at the cusp of what I can do. There's so much fascinating technology and I'd love to dive into it further. I'd always get frustrated because I see this crazy stuff happening in sci-fi movies, and then like you go back into real life and it's like, this doesn't exist. We were supposed to be deep inside cyberspace to the point where you can't like disassociate reality from digital. Like we got promised this future that never happened, and now it's sort of up to artists and filmmakers to realise this future.